Hello, Sagittarius. Thank you for tuning into this week's read. For the main part of the read, I'm using Tarot Illuminati by Eric C. Dunn. Supportive Oracle cards. Chakra Wisdom Oracle cards by Tori Hartman, illustrated by Gretchen. There's Gretchen's last name. Okay. That way, if you want to find anything by those people, there you go. Let's see how the tarot cards add up into this. Okay. What do we have for Sagittarius here? Excuse me. All right, going right into the situation, I almost feel like you have to play a poker hand. I'm feeling the victim card in the environment. So you're dealing with somebody who, they don't seem to feel empowered at all. Their strength is not really where it needs to be. They're feeling really vulnerable is what I'm getting. Very vulnerable. And I'm seeing you trying to figure out what to do with this. There's only so much it seems that you can. There's somebody you're trying to help. You really do want to help them. But what they don't know, but you do, obviously, are these two things. You've got a lot going on. You got workaholic and you've got impatience. When I'm feeling impatience for you, it's face down, and I feel like people are pressuring you. We need this. We need this. Give me this. Give me that. And it's just kind of like, there's a very demanding energy here. But it's weird because I don't feel like it's one person for most of you. It may be just like a situation that's very, very demanding. And I feel like another thing kind of making this more rough on you is you got a lot going on, but you usually do, is what I'm also getting. You're going from one to the next, getting this done, getting that done, doing this, doing this, doing that, doing this, doing that, going here, going there, going this, gotta do this, gotta do that. For those of you this is going to hit with, like, you typically keep your schedule very busy. Wanting to or not, it just seems to happen. It just seems to happen. Now, to help this person, like, you got more, what's going on in the outside is like you're feeling trapped. You're feeling trapped and very stressed about this because you're feeling like I gotta help them. And you want to help them. And you feel like they deserve help. It's not about if they deserve it or not. It's not about if you want it or not. It's just like you're feeling trapped and there's a lot of stress here. Like, I don't know how I'm going to do it. I really feel like I need to do it. Really feel like I want to help. I need to help. I should help. I just don't know, like, when, how. Like, I barely have enough time to breathe, let alone anything else. Like, I get up and I'm off running. And by the time that day is over, I'm so wiped out that I crash. I just crash. Yep, you're putting this demand on yourself. You got the impasse here. Like, no, I gotta help them. I can't not let. I can't not help them. I can't not help them. You know, I have to help them. There we go. There we go. This is really hard for you. Really hard. You're just like, I'm gonna have to find a way to do it. I'm gonna have to find a way to do it. And they do need your help. Their victim energy is here. The way that's coming in, it does feel like they actually honestly need your help. You got dissipating with the Ten of Swords here. Now, I'm getting like the longer this goes, the better it gets. Like, the stress seems to be lessening over time. But I'm getting like, I feel like some of you are just kind of like, you're running yourself to the bone on this. You really are. Something's got to give. I feel like right off the bat, I'm like, you got to scale back something. You got to scale back something because you're going to do yourself in. It's not going to be good. You're a very good person. You can only do so much, though. Like, superheroes are rare. And even superheroes in this reality, they don't have an endless supply of energy. So, like, I just feel like some of you are just getting, like, a lot less sleep than you should be. Maybe eating poorer. because you don't have time to have, like, you're just like, I just need something. Well, just give me that. Okay, I'm going. And I just feel like you're suffering. You're suffering. Your body's gonna get ticked off, is what I'm getting for a lot of you. It feels like I say this to Sagittarians a lot. Like, you gotta slow down. Let yourself have joy. But this one, I feel like you're really running it low. You're running it low here. And I'm sure, like, for those of you this is hitting with, you've heard this a million times. Like, you can't help somebody else if you can't help yourself. Because you might end up, like, really giving yourself a hard time. It can come in a lot of different ways. Slow down. And they're saying you gotta weed this back. You gotta pull this back. You gotta, like, push off some stuff here. You gotta do something, because this is not healthy for you. Too much. You do have good things. You are right. Some things have to get done, but you gotta scale back something else. Then this isn't good. Don't do this to yourself. You're a very good person, a very helpful person, but if you end up crashing and burning, you can't help anybody if you're in traction for 6 weeks. I'm just saying. It does, and they're also giving you this heads up, like, it's gonna get better. And they're like, if you can have other people help you, don't put the world out on your shoulders, because this situation is designed to get better. You helping is very good and very necessary, but you got to scale back some other stuff. As this situation keeps going that you're dealing with, because there's a lot going on in your life. There's a lot. You got complacency. Man, I do get contemplation, though, with it, too. I guess that's the Ten of Pentacles I'm feeling. The problem I see with this situation, because there's this victim attitude here, is kind of... This is very... I know this is an old adage, and it's even a Bible adage. Teach a person to fish. Wait, how's that go? Give a person a fish, they eat today. Teach a person to fish, they can eat for a lifetime. It's very loose. I know it's something like that. You get the point. That's the whole point, for you to get the point. The victim card is a person. This is a person. But the whole thing is, if you just save them from their own mess, you save them for that day. If you, like, point out what the problem is, and, like, this is why you keep ending up in this mess, and you teach them to fix their own mistake. Maybe you help them, like, if you're teaching somebody to fish, or you're teaching somebody to fix their own mistake, and you fish with them as you're teaching them how to fix their own mistake, there's a better chance they're going to do better down the road. That's what I'm getting with this. Don't just fix it for them. Teach them to fix it themselves. Show them what you're seeing. Show them what's unacceptable. Show them what has to go differently, and teach them to do it the way you would do it. I'm also getting this might be a repetitive thing. You might end up helping this person 3 or 4 times, but each time, like, push more on them. You show them where they're doing things a little differently, but, keep pushing it over on them. Push it over on them, so that they learn to fix their own mess. This is a problem I'm getting with the complacency and the Ten of Pentacles, because if you just keep fixing it, they're going to start depending on you to just keep fixing it. You don't have an endless supply of energy. You have a great heart, obviously, if you're helping somebody like this, not for nothing. But you don't have an endless supply of energy. You got to teach them to do for themselves. If you don't, they're going to get very used to you. Be very well aware of it. I'm getting it's very hard for this person to get out of this rut, but you're at least giving them a platform to start from, or at least trying to push them out of that. You're not looking to make it more difficult for them, but you're like, listen, me just saving you from this is not fixing it. Me teaching you to save yourself, that could fix it. And the reason I'm giving this is because there's going to be a relapse. Whoever this victim situation is, it comes out of left field. It's like a quick strike is what I'm getting. Because I'm seeing these rods, I'm feeling like somebody's coming at me with them. Like, it's coming out of nowhere, just wham. It's what I'm feeling like. There's going to be a relapse. And if you're teaching this person how to fix their own situation, I feel like they're going to value it differently, and they're going to handle it with more thought to where things are going. It's kind of like a kid. If you teach a kid, like, you screw that up, and then you're going to be grounded, and then you fix the problem. they just all they're thinking about is like, well, if I screw it up, I'm just going to get grounded, so that's all they're going to worry about. But for example, if they screw it up and they mess up the kitchen and they damage things, and you're like, well, you're going to be grounded, but that whole time you're grounded, you're fixing this kitchen. You're going to clean that up. You're going to fix that. You're going to do the work. You're going to be in there repainting and doing everything. You're going to fix everything you screwed up. And it makes them feel like, uh-oh, if I screw this up and then I have to clean up my own mess and do all this work, I don't want to do that. I hate doing that. It changes how they handle it. And that's what I feel like, that's why they're saying be careful, not just to pull somebody out of the fire, but like teach them like, here, grab that, get yourself out of the fire. I'll help you, I'll lend you a hand to get you out of it. But work on your own to get yourself out of it as well. Don't just wait for somebody else to help you. Work actively to get yourself out of that situation, and you keep reiterating that to them. Because when this quick strike comes in, like this relapse, this sideways, it comes out of nowhere, in my opinion. It just, to me, it feels like it was not expected. At least to you, it's not expected. Let's do that. You're going to have to talk with them and be like, well, wait a minute, whoa, what happened? Like, what happened? How did that happen? Did you know that was coming? Did you see any warning signs? Like, and when you handled it, and when you dealt with that quick strike, what did you do? What you're dealing with them. What did they do to handle it? Did they handle it in a way where they could pick up the pieces easier after? Or did they have a bad reaction to it and just make things worse for themselves and possibly you? The relapse is painful. It's painful to see. It's painful for them to go through. It's not fun. I don't feel any fun with that at all. But it seems like it's necessary, kind of like it's trying to show some shortcomings of whatever the problem is. It's trying to highlight shortcomings so that they don't become a bigger problem later. So it doesn't, to me, it doesn't feel like it's for nothing. I don't know if it might feel or seem like it's just kind of like a wasted moment or like an unnecessary moment, but it is necessary. It's highlighting shortcomings. And I'm seeing the bittersweet on your side. You seem to be coming to it more readily than the person it actually happened to. Kind of like, yeah, that wasn't the best thing. It does seem kind of unnecessary, but on the upside, it did point out this is faulty and that's faulty. So at least we see that more clearly now. Let's deal with it. Let's see it for what it is. Let's make the best of this moment, even though it was a bad moment. Let's at least try to do something with it. Bittersweet, you know. This person, this victim energy around you. Ooh. They're creating. They're creating. The question is, what are they creating? They're creating. Helping them fix their own mess. It helps. It gives a better chance for them doing better with this. I don't feel any kind of type of guarantee with anything right now. It makes me uncomfortable because it makes me feel like, sometimes, the victim attitude, when somebody when they accept being a victim, that can be dangerous because it's almost like they're saying, well, I'm always going to be weak, and they're accepting that they're weak. And then they keep going towards things where, oh yeah, well, I got to be careful because I'm weak. Instead of like saying, okay, wait, I'm weak, but what do I have that can compensate for that weakness? How do I protect myself from somebody using that weakness? How do I change that? Does that have to be a weakness? Can I change this? You know what I mean? For me, example would be when I was in my early 20s, my weakness was not understanding loans, and I paid for it, literally. The way I got out of that weakness is I ended up working in a mortgage firm. So now I understand loans a lot better. I wouldn't say I was the expert on them, but that's how I changed that. It was a weakness I had. So it's not a weakness like it was, and now I'm aware of things. That's kind of like what I'm talking about here. I think you know what I'm talking about. I think you get it. I'm just worried about this victim energy because, like, accepting a weakness and then just saying, well, that's just how it is. I'm just weak. And then just kind of walking through life like, I hope nobody gets me for my weakness. It's like identifying it, but then fixing it, changing it, or protecting it, or something. Just not accepting, like, oh, sometimes I get knocked down. It happens. No. Like, why did you get knocked down? Can you protect yourself? Like, strengthen yourself. I'm getting annoyed with this energy because I don't like that attitude. Like, people just like, I'm a victim. That's just what I am. No, no. Like, no. I don't like people accepting that. It's bothering me because I'm feeling that kind of feel here, and that's not okay. It's not all right for somebody just to say, hey, I'm a target. I guess I'm just going to live life as a target. No, 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 no. Let me just get off the soapbox with that. This person is going to get on your nerves. And I'm wondering if that's why, because of that energy coming in. Because it's annoying me. And I'm seeing like you're doing your best with it. You're very bonded, very loyal to this situation. You do see improvement. Now I'm seeing these as your cards, but the actual situation itself is like working through history, dealing with history, a lot of errored history. Now you don't want to blame a victim, granted, but you want to empower one to like say, okay, we're not going to say that was your fault. True. Oh, I hate this analogy. So I don't know. You know what? If I get flack for it, I get flack for it. Now, like it's kind of like if you go through a bad part of town, and you know there's scummy, moralless. There's just trash. I don't know how to say it. It doesn't matter what they look like. You know, there's just certain people they don't value humans, and they will just use people, and you know they will, and they'll just get what they want. That type of person, whatever label you want to stick with it. You know there's a part of town like that. You know that if you wear certain things, like, you don't want to victim blame. It doesn't mean somebody has the right to abuse you if you go that way. But if you know, like if I'm wearing something and I'm drunk, if I'm wearing something suggestive and I'm drunk, no matter what gender you are, I'm just saying, because I've heard stories, I'm just saying, and you go through this area of town, you have a very high chance of getting abused. So you want to identify, like, it does not validate what somebody did to you. It doesn't make it right, but let's think about this. How do we protect ourselves so we don't relive that? We don't have to fear it just randomly happening. So, like, it's not, like, you can't say that made that, like, it doesn't validate that happening. Like, oh, you went there and you were dressed like this and you were drunk, so I guess you were asking for it. No, we can't say that because that's not true. But also at the same time saying, you know what, let's not put ourselves behind the 8 ball. Let's not go into an area that we already know is dangerous with no physical protection, and then our faculties are diminished. Like, let's go through the situation and find ways to protect ourselves and keep ourselves out of that situation. That's all I'm saying. Because I feel like they're going to get frustrating. It's going to get frustrating because you have to identify something, and I feel like that's a very touchy subject with a lot of people because you don't want to blame victims. Like, nobody has the right to victimize another person. I agree with that 100%. Easily. But you also got to look at this like, how do I protect myself? How do I make better decisions so people don't have the advantage on me to take advantage of me? What do I do to keep that from happening? At the same time, saying, like, nope, they didn't have the right to do that. Nope, it doesn't validate that. But, on the other hand, how do we also protect ourselves from repeat problems? I don't know. I think people get annoyed with me with that one because I'm like, you know, I understand we can't victim blame, and I agree with that. But at the same time, we got to look at, like, how do we protect ourselves better so these things don't repeat? All right, you know, blow me up in the comments if you got to, but that's how I feel about it. Anything else with this? I'm so annoyed with this for some reason. Like, I'm into empowering people. I'm not just saying, oh, life happens, so I guess you're a victim. I'm not okay with that. So I'm just going to let it go. So thank you for watching. I hope that helps. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James, the number 4, astral@gmail.com. Thank you.